Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Support for pastor on rape charge. As a handful of his supporters spurned requests for media interviews outside the St. James Parish Court yesterday, Pastor Jason Rose was sneaked by a back entrance into the building to answer charges of raping a 15-year-old girl. Among those who turned out to provide moral support was one man who only identified himself as the pastor's biological brother. "We don't grow them way dey. Me I tell you, my brother wouldn't do them thing dey. How much you could picking grow around we," he said in a subdued voice. The group of about 5, including 3 women, who voiced their support of the 39-year-old Pastor Rose and blamed the media for its coverage of the case. Rose, pastor of New Life Apostolic Church in Montego Bay, was granted bail in the sum of $300,000 and is to be back in court on July 19. Allegations against him are that sometime in March he assaulted the young girl while she was at his home, which is located on the church premises at 62 Barnett Street in Montego Bay. A report was made to the police, an investigation launched, and a search began to locate Rose. He eventually reported to the Freeport Police on June 7. He was charged with rape by detectives assigned to the St. James Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse following an interview in the presence of his attorney. On June 11, the teenager's mother was arrested and charged with attempting to pervert the course of justice after the alleged victim told investigators her mother and the pastor's wife had been pressuring her to change her story. Teen's mother have a June 16 court date. Meanwhile, the pastor's wife, Kimoy Rose, is to appear in court tomorrow to answer to charges of attempting to pervert the course of justice, as well as other charges under the Child Care and Protection Act. Yesterday, the pastor's supporters heckled the media as they waited outside the courthouse. They denied being members of his church. "We don't want to have any dialogue with any media, so please, we rest our case. Any questions, we say, Jesus, here it comes. We are having no dialogue with no media," stated one man, case closed. A woman in the group argued that each media house presented something different about the pastor. Police identify man in Hanover mob killing. The police have identified the man killed yesterday by a mob in Hanover as reputed leader of Westmoreland's Darling Street gang, Adrian Sweeney. The police said about 9 a.m., Sweeney and another man allegedly drove a Nissan AD wagon to Hanover community where they opened gunfire at a resident. The man received gunshot injuries but escaped and made an alarm. It is alleged that residents subsequently cornered Sweeney in the community and chopped him to death. The other person managed to escape the attack. East Kingston Tense after morning murders. Tension is heavy in sections of East Kingston after the shooting death of a man yesterday morning and what was believed to be a reprisal killing shortly after. Residents, for the most part, were tight-lipped about the murders. However, the few who were willing to speak stated that they could have stemmed from a long-time feud between gangsters. Both murders were committed before 11 a.m. Up to yesterday evening, police were unable to provide much information. Reporters were told that the first victim, who lived at McGregor Gully, was shot while driving a motorcycle along Lanston Road, very close to the Mountain View police station. Moments later, a second man was shot dead at a nearby Blogger Gully. The murders have left residents worried that more violence will erupt in the community. "A sudden man dem always start off them rubbish. From them 1 and 2 thing ya start, you know say it a go wicked," one resident reported. Marlon Anderson, a brother of one of the victims, said he was at work when he heard at least 4 explosions. Shortly after, he received news that his brother had been killed. He wasn't able to provide his brother's full name or any other personal information, explaining that they never grew up together. However, he said the brother, whom he knew only as juvenile, would visit him every now and then. "I work me day and me just get weak star. Me sit down right here so, and when me take a snack, me hear say me brother dead. To how me feel it, me not even go round to go look pon him. Right now me a talk to you, me weak," he said, sharing that his brother sold cigarettes and other forms of tobacco to make a living. SPM starts clearing Mandeville garbage pile up. After 2 weeks of garbage pile up in some Mandeville communities, The Southern Parks and Markets SPM a short while ago responded to cries from residents who feared rodent infestation. Following yesterday Observer story headline, "Rats Will Take Us Over," a team of solid waste workers began clearing a backlog of garbage in the community of Ingleside this afternoon. Regional Operations Manager at SPM Waste Management, Edward Muir, reported yesterday that the backlog was due to the unavailability of fully functional units. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.